Hello guys and welcome back to another round of the Ultimate God Cup, and it is still top 16 and we have a real good matchup today. Sadly, we today only means me, because the Leonard has other duties today, so you will only see, oh no, it's over there, I think, there. You'll only see a black screen and not his face, and I will cast the match alone. And we really have like big names coming up today. You can really look forward to them. We have Dinka Bui, we have Markus Burtchen, we have Pascal Kiem for Team 7 Sands. And on the other side we have Hermann Hansen, Elias Stahlberg and Magnus Fratjord on the other side for Team Frozen Card Gaming. And I will just move over to the playing field real quick and give the judge the notifications that we can start. And I will give you a lot more information about what we're featuring and what the guys are playing and everything when going along. So, let's see. Here we are. We see our featured match is KO905, and you can probably tell who that is. It is Dinka Bui, aka Ka, from Berlin, and he's playing like the weirdest deck list of them all, like the weirdest deck itself. You guys will be wondering pretty hard. I didn't see a deck like that for quite a while, and I didn't expect him to play it. Like, he's probably taking the fun approach right here. And normally he would have been up against Jack Verma, so it would have been a Berlin battle, and also like the rematch of the top 8 of German nationals, which just took place this weekend. Last week we sadly had no Ultimate God Cup because of our preparations for the German nationals. We already traveled to Bochum, Leonard and me, but this week we're back. We still wanted to give you something, and so here I am with you. And you can already see what I was talking about. Car is going for terraforming into Pacificus the Phantasm City. Hello, you don't see that every day. And he's also summoning Megalo Smasher X. So I'm not 100% sure about his deck, but it just looks like a very anti-meta strategy. And you would see a lot of anti-meta cards in general. And there you see he already searches with the effect of Pacificus for the Phantasm. I think it's Spiral something. And that's the trap that says you can destroy one monster on your opponent's side when you control a normal monster. So guys, if you are like a big fan of the Pacific Phantasm deck or so, just make me know in the chat and help me out with all the cards. Like, there are quite a few cards that are unusual and that haven't been seen at the tournament scene for quite a while. And yeah, that could be fun. But also there are cards that are very popular. For example, there you can see it, Card of Demise. Hello Papa, just draw 3 and have fun like Sky Strikers nowadays have, or True Draco had for quite a while. Yeah, for the guys wondering in the chat where Leo is, I think he's at some kind of a festival. That was what he was telling me. And he said he is there with Lars, who would have been our replacement. But we still wanted to give you the next round, and we didn't want the players to wait longer, so we decided to make it solo this week for me. And look at that, 5 back row. Card of Demise can be discarded in the end phase because card does not need a second copy of it anymore. And so Magnus will have fun playing through that. I think he would be in love with drawing Evenly Matched right here. Would be a good card to draw into. And I mean, if he would be playing against Jack Verma right here, like Carr, he was playing Evenly Matched in the main deck in his Altergeist list on the weekend. So that would be possible to just get Evenly Matched instantly, and Carr probably wouldn't like that. Oh, and look at that! We have Oracle of Zephyr for Magnus. So 2 quote-unquote rogue decks. I would assume that that's just basic Zephyr. Sadly, I had like problems checking out the deck lists of Frozen Card Gaming because they were like a very weird format, so I couldn't really open the deck list. But I was like, okay, you guys will be surprised by it, so I will be surprised by it too. So let's see what we get here. Ka was thinking about it, but he said it's okay. And Oracle of Zevra will resolve. You guys cannot see the game chat, but I can. So I can tell you when they're communicating with each other. Oh yeah, and there's Zevra, so that's a pretty good indicator that he is playing pure Zevra Pendulum. And now it looks like Ka wants to use the effect of Pacifist. And Magnus says alright. And so we have a token coming to the field. Oh yeah, Kian. Would have been nice if you would have joined. I should have asked you, actually, yeah. Leo was like not caring at all, but you would have been a good replacement, so. For now I will have to ride solo because we are already recording and I cannot really change anything about that. Yeah, and like, if you guys, and you probably followed the coverage of German Nationals on the weekend, we had Ka going to top 8 with his Danger Dragon Thunder deck, with Galaxy Serpent and Draconet with that FTK, basically it's like a 1 card, pretty big combo enabler, and he was successful, he made top 8, he probably is kind of safe for the World's leaderboard now, and I would have loved the matchup against Jack Verma again, because their top 8 match was so rough, like Leo and me were commentating on that, obviously, and it was 2 times a super heavy brick for Dinkabui, and I think it was over in like maximum 15 minutes, more like 10 minutes, and it was like, oof, really depressing for Ka. But I mean, he was happy, he made top 8, and Nico Schlierkamp, who is like hunting his place in top 8 right behind him, didn't even make top 64, so he's like in a super chilled spot, and he should be fine for the playoff. And you could tell that he was really happy, even though he lost that. Oof! You guys can see it. It is already the second game. Like, Magnus did not even want to look at all the back row cards that Ka had there. He just instantly admitted defeat because he was like, how shall I play through that? How's that even possible to play through 5 back row? And I think Ka was just like, oof, I mean, I had a pretty good success over the weekend, so why not just having fun this week in the Ultimate God Cup? And seems like it is working out somehow. Or what I was thinking was, when I saw his deck list at first, maybe it's like a super counter approach to Altergeist. And if Jack Verma would have played at that table, and they would have been opponents, then it would have been a pretty safe pick to guess that Jack is playing Altergeist again, because, I mean, he's playing Altergeist a lot, and after that big success, why would you drop the deck? So maybe he just made the perfect counter pick versus Altergeist, and now he's playing Zephyros, but still, game 1 worked out pretty well for him. But let's see how Magnus can perform in game 2. He starts off with the Servant of Endymion, the new Endymion card from the structure deck. And now his task is probably to get 3 spell cards. Funnily enough, Ka says he's reading the card. I wouldn't have guessed that Ka has to read cards, actually, but seems like that was the case here. And yeah, let's see how much of a board he can create here. Like, normally Zephyra isn't as powerful in creating turn 1 boards than just the usual Pendulum or Endymion Pendulum deck, but let's see. Maybe Magnus can surprise me and can put up a huge board. Like, they will probably put up like the Zephyra counter trap. That's like pretty safe to call. Oh, and I mean, he has a very good start. Like, if you want to have a start, that's like probably 8 out of 10 at least, because he has 3 spells to activate after the Servant of Endymion, and he now has Dragon Shrine to actually get Darkworm into the graveyard. So he can get out 3 monsters immediately without even normal summoning, with Darkworm, Servant of Endymion, and the monster he's specialing out, like maybe Jackal King or something else to work with after that. So that is pretty good. And he also gets the free search from Dark Worm. He has gate 0 in hand now too. Yeah, and there comes Servant. Very, very nice. Oh, but there comes the Ash Blossom on the Servant. And there's been some discussion about that. I saw it in some judge forums, because people are debating whether you can use the effect of Endymion, of the Servant of Endymion again when you already got ashed on it, because it only says it can be special summoned once. And in the US, it is apparently ruled like you can again activate the effect. I mean, if you actually are able to activate 3 more spells, obviously. And in the TCG, like at German Nationals, they said no, you cannot do it again. So people are not really sure about that yet. But I mean, it says you can special summon it only once. So if it isn't special summon, I would guess you can activate it again. So I kind of agree on that US ruling for some reason, of course. But looks like he isn't too happy with that. He was like writing in the chat. You cannot see the chat, but he said like, oh shit. And so he now has this Pendulum Summon 1. Oh, he Pendulum Summons for 1 into the big horse, the Zephranu, and is searching for Zephyr Providence. That is not optimal. Pendulum Summon 1 is the thing you don't want to say. You don't even want to announce it. Like, Pendulum Summon 1. Ouch. But let's see where you can go from here. Maybe he's still able to put up something. He actually activates Zephyr Providence. So he will be searching for something else now. And Ka, I mean, he's playing a pretty anti-meta deck, and obviously these anti-meta decks are usually pretty going first heavy, but he was boarding like stuff. He was boarding Super Polymerization, I saw that, and he also was boarding Pancratopsis and so on. He's also boarding Inspector Borders, so like a lot of interesting cards. I'm wondering whether he considered that deck for German Nationals. That would have been like insane if he would have topped Nationals with that. Like, holy macaroni, that would have been huge. So there's the normal summon. He normals another Zephyr and now goes into Link 2. Probably meaning we see Electrum Knight. Yep, there is Electrum Knight. Cass says that's fine. You can activate the effect of Electrum Knight. And now we maybe see Sloth or so. Oh no, we see Chronograph. Okay. So he's setting up additional plays for the rest of the turn, maybe. Maybe already for next turn, because oh, okay, maybe he can pop his scale with Electrum Knight and then somehow get Chronograph on the field too, and maybe he's going into Exceed plays or so. I don't know whether he's playing Naruto, but would be a way to go maybe. Ooh. Electrum Knight is targeting the Oracle, okay. Let's see. He's probably taking back the Chrono, I guess. Yep, there it is. Chronograph coming back to the hand right there. Okay, now he's using Chrono Effect. Of course, because the Oracle was just destroyed, he can just special summon it out. Ooh, and he's special summoning out the Gate as well. Oh, and obviously, like, the Pendulum decks nowadays also go into the Guard Dragon combos. There you have LP, and I mean, the Zephyr route was kind of stopped with ashing the Servant, but now you have Triple Burst and LP pointing to the same zone, and he can just go off once again. Yep, we had Pendulum decks at German Nationals going for the same approach. Now you go into Agapane, obviously, and you probably summon out Odd Eyes Vortex, I would assume. That was the way he was going, and I mean, it is a pretty nice negate. Yep, there it is. And you now go into the Hieratic Seal. There you are. Okay, so he didn't manage to put up like the biggest board, but it's still pretty nice. And he also gets out Destrudo now, paying 4,000 life points. Meaning he probably has something to do with the Destrudo as well. Oh yeah, he will probably go into Dawn Rexter now. So he has multiple negates on board. Yeah, Dawn Rexter on top of it, so I mean, that is kind of alright. He has the negate of Odd Eyes, he has Dawn Rexter, which can negate spells and traps. And he can still interrupt with the Heretic Seal. And that one back row is there too. Oh, and Ka did draw into one of his sided Pancratopsis. Okay, oh, we have some additional informations on the side. Elias Starberg already managed to take game 1 versus Markus Butchin in an all-Berlin battle. It's kind of funny that Frozen Card Gaming, originally a Scandinavian team, has multiple very successful German players playing. And you know Markus Butchin from becoming second place at YCS Bochum in 2018. And you also know Elias Stahlberg for getting second place as well at YCS Prague. So some well-known names being there and battling it out. And also I think Elias Stahlberg made top 4 at Polish Nationals this year by playing pure Trickstar, which is also kind of surprising. So he was thinking about activating something, and he decided to activate the Heretic Seal, bouncing the Pancratops, and Ka is allowing that. And now the Heretic Seal probably summons out... Oh, it summons out Destrudo, meaning he does not have access to really powerful cards, for example, like Sloth or so. So that Destrudo is not doing too much right there. Let's see. Alright. So Ka, as we already talked about it, plays a lot of back rows. So even though he has 2 negates on board right there, Ka can still like bait out the 2 negates and then have additional very powerful spell and trap cards. For example, he could have Sea Stealth Attack, which then could search out the Pacific City, and oh, he can also have There Can Only Be One, of course. That is like a legit card versus Pendulum. Right now, there are 2 dragons on board, and I guess it isn't too hard to decide what to put to the graveyard right there. Obviously, you would put the Destrudo to the grave, but maybe you are negating that. But by activating it so fast, that probably is an indicator that it's just a bait from Ka's side. So I would let that go through too, and that was what Magnus decided. He puts the Destrudo to grave, and now let's see where he's going from there. Ooh! Shoutouts to the True Soul Warrior in the chat. No, the Ultimate God Cup will be in will not be in German, obviously. It is in English, and I try my best. I have to transform back from speaking German over the whole weekend, commentating in German, and now being back here, commentating the games in English again. So I will need some time to warm up, but I hope I can get back into the rhythm and back into the flow somehow. Yeah, Pepmit's kind of a true thing. He's like kind of blocking himself with Sloth, so wouldn't be too powerful right there. And now he's normal summoning the Zephrak Cyton. Yeah, and I wasn't finished talking about the other tables, because not only Elias is leading 1-0 for Team 7 Cents, also Pascal Kiem is leading 1-0 for Team 7 Cents at table 1 versus Herman Hansen. And another big name, Herman Hansen, the actual winner of the Swedish Nationals. So we have quite a lineup today, like all the finest players of their teams. Oh, and there we see the new card from Dark Neostorm, Quackdown, being activated on the Odd Eyes Vortex Dragon. And that probably is a good bait for a negate, because why would you give your opponent a monster that can negate effects when you can negate it before it goes over to him? Oh! Looks like he's actually letting that through. I cannot really believe that. Wow, he lets it through. That is interesting. So he still has the negate of the Dawn Dragster. Oh, okay. Now I get it. He actually used the effect of Zephrak Cyton to target the set Crackdown, and obviously Ka responded with chaining it, but then the card was still targeted, and it doesn't matter how it ended up, being face up or still being set. So Zephyr Titan still destroyed the Crackdown, meaning the other Vortex Dragon just immediately came back to Magnus, so there was no need in negating it. Nice, nice. So now there's only 2 more cards, and Magnus actually has 2 more negates, so it is a very, very powerful position for him right here. And it should be kind of fine from here on. Meaning the big Dinka Bui is in trouble of losing that second game and maybe dropping one right here. Oof. But the good thing for Ka right now is that FA Dawn Dragster has not too many attack points, so you can actually sit on it and just chill, and he will not give you too much of a headache in general. There comes the Pendulum Summon, and the Pendulum summons out the Chronograph Sorcerer. Meaning we have 1,900, 2,500, 2,000 attack points. Ka is jokingly asking, only 1 Pendulum Summon? And yep, it is only 1. Magnus confirms that, putting everything to attack position. That Dawn Dragster should be at 300 points. Yeah, oh, it was at 2,100 attack points right now. Or 2,400 even, because it was level 7. Meaning that was an actual OTK. Meaning we have a tied game here at table 3. It is 1-1 between the 2 guys. Between Dinkabui and Magnus Fraftjord. And I guess at the other tables it is still 1-0. So this game looks like it is the fastest so far. And as always, if that game is finished very fast, we will be switching over to the other tables as well and have an eye on them. So it could be the case that we are actually watching a part of every single match, because in case Dinkabui or Magnus is just finishing his opponent off very, very fast right here, then we are just switching over. And I would guess that we would be switching over to the Berlin battle between Markus Burchen, sorry, and Elias Starberg first. Starberg, what a nice name it is. And after that, we would be going to Pascal versus Herman as well. And I talked about every single player, and I don't want to take away any credit from Pascal Kiem. He also topped, I think, multiple YCSs during the last season. For sure, he topped YCS Utrecht, the 200 YCS, and he might have topped Euros as well. I'm like not 100% sure on that, so if anybody in the chat knows that. And no guys, not the Sephra player's Ka. Ka is the player playing the anti-meta deck with Pacifics and Phantasms and all the water stuff going down. And he will probably go first with that anti-meta strategy right there. Yeah, Ka is the bottom player, that is true, absolutely. He is not the Zephyr player. And let's see what he's revealing there with Pot of Duality. It is Skill Drain. That is a card that can help you quite a bit versus Pendulum. And he is happily taking it of that duality. And he also has a field spell. That is a pretty alright start, I would say. Yeah, Mr. Elias Steel Mountain. For sure. Oh, and Ka has Card of Demise again. And Magnus is writing in the chat, yeah, he's super happy about it. He loves that Card of Demise. Again, as it was in game 1, Ka starting with Card of Demise. But he didn't draw into a monster apparently. No, he didn't. He will just discard the Mystic Mine. He also is running Mystic Mine in his main deck. He's running two kind of field spell cards. The Mystic Mine and the Pacific, but for now he feels like Pacifist is enough for Magnus. Yeah, Deutschlande 0-0 or probably Deutschlande 0-0. Sadly, Leo is not here today with me. He is on a festival somewhere in the near of Paderborn, I guess, where he's located. So he's having fun there, and I will have the duty to cast that alone today for you guys. But still, we wanted to show you some Yu-Gi-Oh! On a Thursday evening, some nice, chilled, laid-back Yu-Gi-Oh! And Ka is just preemptively dropping his skill drain right there. He wasted no time actually activating it in the standby phase. Very, very nice. Or like, I don't know whether it's nice. Oh! Magnus is going into battle phase. You all know what that could mean. Ka is saying, fine, end of battle phase is okay, and there it is. Evenly matched. Ay, 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 ay. Ka is chaining Metaverse. He's probably searching for either Pacifics or Mystic Mind then. Ay, ay, ay. Ooh, look at that. Leonard König is joining us in the chat. Hello, Leo. He's on his way back home. Nice. So he searched for Pacifics, and look at that. One of the set cards was Terraforming. Actually, you would be banishing face down, but yeah, okay. It doesn't really matter whether Magnus knows that was a Terraforming or not. So, there's only skill drain left now. Or is it? Ka did not decide yet, but I mean, oh, he keeps the Pacifics. He values the Pacifics so highly that he actually gives up a skill drain for it. Ka cannot feel too good right now. He was having like a fun time game 1, being like, yeah, I can probably play whatever I like and I will still win tournaments. As long as I'm playing in tournament setting, I'm fine. But seems like Magnus is getting the better of him right here. Yeah. So you guys in the chat are now starting to heat up when Leonard is back with you and back in the chat. Leonard actually ruined his Highfish Nikes at the festival, which is kind of a shame, obviously. But let's see what Magnus still has left in his hand. He's taking quite some time to finding his place here, and he decided on a normal summon of the Dark Worm. Ka obviously not being able to react to that in any way. He has only the Pacifics in hand, which he searched with. Ooh! Which he searched with the Metaverse, of course, but actually he normal summoned the Dark Worm and decided to pass over to Ka again. I mean, it was main phase 2, so there wasn't a lot to do, but still, like, there should be some combos when you have 5 cards in hand for a Pendulum deck, for a Zephyr Pendulum deck. But I mean, what can Ka do? He has one more copy of Pacifics in hand, and the other card he drew, he just set into his back row. Let's see what that is. I guess Magnus will find out shortly. Yeah, apparently Leo has a lot to learn in his life, because you obviously do not go to university after a big event on a Monday when you were working for the whole weekend. Completely fair point. Ollie in the chat there. And you also do not bring your best shoes to an outdoor festival. That is pretty much safe to say, and that's nothing new for me, but it seems to be something new for Leonard König. But let's focus on the match. Actually, Magnus normal summoned his little Zephyr Dolphin, the Zephyr Wendy, and he added... Oh, he did not even activate the effect. Alright, he just wants to go beat down right here. Obviously, he's not activating the effects, because he does not want to trigger the Pacifics. Pacifics would then special summon out a token, which has 2000 attack points. And that could actually just run over the monsters. Oh! That looks like kind of a top deck for our boy Dinka Bui. He just drew into card of Demise. Could be a turning point right there. And he has Megalo Smasher as well. Ooh. There is the Megalo Smasher. And Ka says it in the chat. Lucky me. Indeed, lucky you. And Magnus comment on that with, I ain't even surprised. That kind of reminds me of I think it was last round of Swiss or second to last round of Swiss, round 10 or 11 at German Nationals. And Dinkabui was in game 3 versus normal BA Phantom Knights, like the original deck. And he had no cards in hand, no cards on the field. His opponent had like 2 monsters on board, so he was like in advantage. And Leo was just saying, I guess Carr has to draw into Levianeer right here, otherwise he's pretty dead. Yeah, his opponent also had Fogblade, so he had like a pretty good setup. And you could just count down 3, 2, 0, 1. And Dinkabui drew into the Levianeer, turning the whole game around in style. That was like a huge moment, and we were like freaking out about it. It was insanity right there. And he managed to win the game, and he obviously managed to top the event and go into top 8 with his very innovative combo FTK Thunder Dragon Danger deck. He made quite some impact with it, and he once more showed to the world that he's a very, very good deck builder, and he knows the tendencies in the metagame format, and he knew it is time to actually get out that Draconet Galaxy Serpent combo. People probably weren't prepared for it enough, and he just went off from there on. So let's have a quick look at the chat as well. Thanks, Leonard, for giving me some love. I try my best to entertain you on my own today. Even though you might be a little bit drunk right now because you're on your way back from a festival, I still appreciate it. And look at that. Magnus was able to activate the Spell Power Mastery, but from there on it is still all Carr. Like, that game really shifted drastically. Carr had Pacifist on board and Pacifist in hand. That was everything he had. And now he has 4 back rows, 1 card in hand, 1 Pacifist token on the field, and a Megalo Smasher. So he has 4,000 attack points on board. And he's in a pretty good position right now. Yeah. Let's see how he can do here. He passed again. Carr's not attacking. He's not even trying to go that route. He's just carefully sitting on his back row. Now Servant of Endymion is being activated, and Carr is thinking about it, but he's letting it through. And now it is a task again for Magnus to actually activate 3 more spell cards, because that Servant of Endymion obviously can do him a big favor and special summon out not only himself, but also another Pendulum monster from his deck. Maybe like Jackal King or so. Let's see. Sally in the chat, what the fuck is going on is your question? Or like, WTF is going on? And yeah, you probably are referring to the black screen on the bottom. And Leonard Koenig writing in the chat, that's when you're just joining right now, that's probably a little confusing for you, but Leonard wasn't able to join me from his streaming setup at home, and he is now joining from his smartphone and just spamming in the chat as always. Ooh. Yep. Pebm in the chat writes, Elias apparently won, so I'm just checking with my operator, with my judge, and he also says, yep, Elias won 2-0, and he also tells me, like, at the same time, that also Pascal won at table 1. So, actually, it is 1-1 between the two teams, and all of a sudden, that big top deck from Dinkabui could be the decider in the whole tournament for the Team 7 Sands. That is, oof, that is insane. Magnus must be really disappointed if that means that he's dropping the whole match for his team. So there we saw the trap card, Phantasm Spiral Battle. So you can just target one card his opponent controls. He decided on the Sephora Wendy. And now it is time for Chronograph Sorcerer in the scale. Interesting how fast the matches are going today, because we're already in game 3 here, and the other 2 games are already finished, so seems like a quick night. Pendulum Summon is being announced from Magnus, and it looks hard that he can overcome that deficit right there. 3 back row, a normal monster on the field for Pacificus, too many attack points. It just does not seem too easy. So he decides on Sephora Wendy as his monster to Pendulum Summon. Thank you guys for the love in the chat, and thank you Leonard for keeping the crowd entertained. So, ooh, that's kind of a big Pendulum Summon. He collected some monsters in his hand, and he's special summoning out the Gate and also the Sephranu. And he now probably is trying to activate the effect of Sephranu. Let's see. I'll just click into the graveyard of Ka real quick, because I'm actually testing on Dueling Book like quite a bit over the last couple of days, because I will be attending Croatian Nationals in like 1.5 weeks from now. And so I've been testing a bit. And actually Dueling Book seemed to be quite unstable for the last couple of days. I had like a lot of disconnects, and I was already very afraid of having disconnects today for the Ultimate God Cup. But so far, looks pretty good. But I don't want to jinx it, of course. So let's not talk about the disconnects anymore. Hinkapink, who's playing? It is... Oh, yeah, right. Unstable probably is a better way of saying it. And we are seeing Dinkabui at the bottom versus Magnus Fratfjord on the top. And Dinkabui is obviously playing for his team 7 Sands, and Magnus is playing for Frozen Card Gaming. And they are battling it out in game 3 right now. And it is 1-1 between the team as well, because Elias Dahlberg won at table 2 and Pascal Kim won at table 1 for their respective team. So there's Yazi, and so far no response on that from Ka. Interesting. Yazi could be a turning point here, because obviously Yazi does not target, which made it good like from the beginning, but when Destrudo was introduced, obviously the card became a whole lot more popular, because Yazi is just an easy summon with Destrudo. Every time you summon Destrudo, you instantly have a level 7 Synchro monster. We saw him summoning the Dawn Drexler in game 2, but the more aggressive option obviously is Yazi, so makes sense to go into Yazi here, because your negates probably aren't as effective when you have to play through triple back row. So looks good. Yes, Midi. Looks like Ka is playing Spiral. And like, not the Spiral with a Y in the middle, the Spiral with an I in the middle, like the Pacific Spiral you can just see right here. And seems like Ka wants to play that deck. Or maybe he's just trolling in some way, and he was like, yeah, Marcus, Pascal, you two guys, I know you are like the best, so you will just rock your matches, and then I can just chill a bit, and I will just play that fun deck, and I don't even have to win. But now it comes down to him winning that match for Team 7 Sands to advance to the top 8, to the quarterfinals, basically. Oh, and so he was able to get rid of the Pacificus with his Yazi. And it looks like he's attacking the Megalo Smasher now. I mean, he was able to clear the Pacificus, but still, he only has Yazi on board. He has the Gate 0 and like 2 scales. but I mean his extra deck is kind of packed. He has Dark Worm, Sephiroth Wendy, and Sephranu. So if it gets back to him, still the pendulum mechanic obviously is one of the best that was ever introduced in Yu-Gi-Oh! So he can just pendulum summon out the monsters from his extra deck. But right now his extra monster zone is being taken by the Yazi. Oh, there's super polymerization. Another turning point maybe? That token has 2000 attack points and the Starving Venom has 2800, so this looks like game. And it is. Magnus admits his defeat. Oh, and he writes into the chat, damn. That is like really, really disappointing. Whew. And he says it as well. Like, let me just quickly switch over to my face again. Here I am. So he actually summoned out the Gate Zero, which enabled the super polymerization of Car. Like, why did he even pendulum it out when he just has it sitting there in defense position? It didn't do anything for him, so it probably was some kind of a misplay to actually summon that out. And yeah, that means Dinkabui is winning at table 3, winning our featured match. We do not have any other matches to switch over to because at table 1, Pascal Kim won very fast versus the Swedish champion Herman Hansen, and Elias Sterberg won at table 2, meaning the complete score is 2-1 for Team 7 Sense. That means they are advancing to the top 8. And you guys can check out who they will be playing next at the cardsportsleague.com website. So you can just check out the tournament bracket and everything and check out who they will be playing next. And I will be having a lonely evening from now on, and I will say bye to you guys. Have a nice evening. We will be seeing you back for the next match on Thursday. Bye, guys.